Recording in progress.
Watercooler. Watercooler.
Hey, welcome to Watercooler. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out. You know how the show goes. I, Chris Locks, am on a kick it with my Corolla digital buds of yesteryear. With me today, we have the key three. All the way in Long Beach, California, like myself, it's Kalen Bean.
What's going on?
Hey, Kalen.
Hey, Chris.
Hi.
Hi.
And then all the way, everyone just turned it off right there. Any new listener that we had, Kalen, off that exchange just decided to move on.
Come on.
We lost them. Doesn't matter. You can't get them back. They went to somewhere. They went somewhere else.
Well, they're missing out. They're missing out. So, I feel bad for those people, honestly.
If you could tell them one thing, if you were able to reach out, how do you get them back right now? Get them back for us.
This is a great show. Yeah, you should listen to it. It's a lot of fun. It's a
God.
lot of fun. And
I hear the
we get a
excitement.
little loosey goosey. And yeah. No,
You
I
know-
thought you were gonna ask me, what I was up to, and I would go, oh, not much. Then you go, okay, great, yeah, good, no content today. I was gonna go, oh, I'm a little sad actually, and then you're gonna say,
Why?
I had to take the PlayStation back to storage again. Which
Okay,
I'm sure
we're
sick of
get
hearing
into this.
about.
I am actually just really offended of your impression of me just now. Like, oh, I talk like this. Huh? Like that.
Pretty good, right?
That is insulting. All right, and then all the way in NoHo, CA, it's Mr. Mike Dawson.
That's all right. Hey, I got some news.
You got some
I don't drink any more than it takes to get absolutely blackout drunk.
See, but here's the thing, Dawson. Now, any
Got
other
him in the
listener
first half.
who liked us, they just turned it off after you said more.
That's
so
true.
They didn't hear the
That's
second
true.
part. We're losing people, guys. You gotta
Trigger
keep them,
fingers.
keep them on the show. This is
You
important.
gotta wait. You gotta
Sweet.
wait it out. You gotta see what song they play next. Come on.
Well, if
Yeah.
I will say this: what you really want to hear is the Patreon episodes, because that's the additional episode we do every week where things get real loosey goosey, and I think they're probably gonna get pretty loosey goosey for me again tonight.
What happened?
No, I'm just drinking claws again. That's what's happening.
Good for you.
He's drinking claws. Well, here's the thing, Kayla.
After
now,
about 4
now
or 5,
any-
once the
any listeners
Patreon kicks in, that's
any listener that we had now just turned us off because, like, oh wow, they're going to an ad in 45
it's
seconds
not
into
an
the
ad.
show.
It's just a little.
It's an ad.
It's a teaser. It's a teaser.
I'll tell you,
Hey, sound like
I like
Fondle
that. I like the clause if I'm like having like a boys' bachelor party weekend or something, and you're pretty much forced to drink the entire weekend. There's nothing easier than drinking a White Claw when you're hung over. It's a really good vehicle to get you back in the action.
the
But
best hair in the dog.
I prefer the C minus because this is almost Mormon beer.
I get too full off beer. That's my problem. Too
Mm-hmm.
much beer, and it's just going right to the tummy. And I like the claws they're lighter. That's
Well,
why
the
I
other
go
thing
claws.
too is if like
Can't go hard because then I'm blacking out.
I was talking to my friend Rob Lewis, who was the Green Beret combat medic, right? And when they were on duty, when they were on tour, but they were, off duty, but you always had to be on duty. They were allowed to drink 2 beers.
I mean, what's
Okay.
even the point?
Well, if you drink 2 heavy IPAs or 2 Sierra Nevadas, it's going to do you a lot better than drinking 2 Coors Lights. So the White Claw in that case, because it's got a greater alcohol
Do
content.
they have a lot of
it's
heavy
the way to go.
IPAs in Afghanistan?
No, they were in Germany at the time.
Oh, okay.
They were there in
Okay,
Germany
well,
at the
then
time when
maybe
we were
they
talking
do
about
have
that
some
story.
heavy IPAs there.
Yeah. Yeah, when
Okay.
they had to climb to a base at the top of a mountain. And then when they got up there, there's a small little pub, like an alpine bar. Sitting on top of the mountain in the Alps. I guess Germany and
Switzerland?
Switzerland border, and then Switzerland and Italy border, right? It's that whole Alps area. Am I correct?
I think as you were talking about climbing up and having
Yeah.
this thing at the top of a mountain, all I could think about was Band of Brothers in the last episode where they go up to a fucking like Hitler's fucking house or whatever.
I'm more,
Hitler's house. That's the worst name for a bed and breakfast ever.
I'm more just interested in Dawson asking Kaylin geography questions. Sincerely,
I
and-
try. I mean,
appreciate it.
I
He just wants
I
to
looked
catch
at
me in a fucking humiliating moment again.
I was just flipping channels the other night, and a show said Mighty Cruise Ships. And I'm like, all right, dude, I'll check out Mighty Cruise Ships. I've been on a few. Let's see what's up. Well, they had this one Dutch Holland cruise ship that left out of Amsterdam and went into the North Sea. And I really had no idea how far north Finland and Sweden and those countries are. They're like basically sitting in the Arctic Circle. And if somebody had asked me before I saw this Mighty Cruise Ship thing, point out Sweden on a map, not a chance.
I'd have a 1 in 3 chance of getting that one. I feel
Oh,
like, because there's the 3 of them right all next to each other. Oh wait,
Sweden and Finland are pretty much next to each other.
and Norway's the other one, right?
Okay, there,
All
yeah,
3 of them,
Norway,
they all got
Oslo,
the kind of
Norway,
same
yeah.
shape, and they're
Yeah.
also. I got
Yeah.
a 1 in 3 chance of getting.
That's
those.
pretty good.
Those are good
That's pretty
odds.
good, dude. That's better than I could do.
Yeah.
I would bet that in Vegas easily. By the way, Keelan, if you're looking for a light beer, I just had a really light beer, Miller Extra Light.
Okay.
They came out with a Miller Extra Light.
Okay.
So light it floats.
It's so light. You could see through the can. No, it's if Coors Light is a C minus, this is a C me
D?
after class. It
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
but I loved it.
See you in detention.
It's sessionable. I think it has a lighter ABV as well, but it's only like 60 something calories a can too. It's like real lightweight. So if you see some Miller Extra Light, try it, Kalen. Let me know what you
All
think.
right,
You don't
all
feel
right.
bloated, and you can
Interesting.
just pound them. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, good shotgunning stuff.
I'm
think.
still a big fan of the natural light. I don't see it that often though.
Just go to a college party.
Yeah, I feel like I exclusively.
Yeah, I know,
drank
I'm
that
not
during
doing that,
during
dude.
Beer
Pong
pong.
cups.
Yeah, you go.
I went back to Isla Vista when I was like 26, and I was way too old,
I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
which is kind of weird.
When
So
was the
I
last
couldn't
time you guys-
imagine going to a college party today. I couldn't imagine.
When was the last time you guys played beer pong?
I mean, it's been within a year, I'm sure. But
Oh.
here's the thing: we play for sport, in the sense that we're not.
You play with
typically-
water.
We play with water, yeah. We just
Well,
just drink
we
our
did
beers.
too, and I haven't played in years. And I was out with my 3 brothers for my younger brother's birthday a couple weeks ago. And we went to this bar in the valley, and they had beer pong, which obviously in a bar you do with water. And man, I forgot how fun it was. We just had so much fun, and none of them like knew how to play. So I was telling them all the rules. You get on
When I-
fire, you keep going until you miss. If you bounce it and you get it in, it was.
Mm.
But then we lost the balls on the second game. I was like, well, I guess game's over now.
When I first moved down to Santa Barbara for school, went down there to check it out and party for a weekend, and stayed at my friend from high school's house. And he had a ping pong table, and he said, "I'm going to introduce you to beer pong." And I'm like, "All right, dude." And what we did back then, this is before beer pong became what you guys know as beer pong. What we did, it was ping pong, but on the center line, you place your paddle until it gets to the end of on that hook on the table. So, and then you place a bottle of beer 1 paddle out, right in the middle.
Yeah.
And then you play ping pong around this beer. And if you hit the beer, you get a point, and the dude has to take a drink of it. As the beer goes down, the weight shifts so much to the bottom that if you hit a good, fast, velocitous shot, you can knock over the bottle of beer.
Yeah.
And we called that 2 points, and you got to slam a beer. That was beer pong, and that was fun as shit.
I mean, beer pong's still super fun. I look forward to it. By the way, Matt and Gary are not here. They couldn't make the show, and us having an episode dedicated to beer pong while they're not here, it's like us having an Alan Parsons avocado show without Dawson.
And
like,
yes,
they're
yes,
gonna be,
yes.
They're just losing their minds right now listening to this. But it doesn't matter. You're not here, so we're talking beer
That'd
pong.
be like
baby.
interviewing Rich Robinson and not telling Dawson about it.
Right.
Right.
Which I think we did on the Corolla show. No, you were there.
Yeah.
You were there,
No,
right?
I wasn't
No,
there.
he wasn't.
He told me the next day. I'm like, "Are you serious? Are you serious?"
Damn. By the way, somebody tweeted to me today, "Hey man, I can't get my Corolla shows. What's going on?" Like, oh no, dude.
I like the way you said it. It might have been confusing for a few people, but I liked it. You said, if you're not getting the latest shows and you're asking me, you're way behind.
Yeah. Anyway, so that did happen to DOS. But anyway, beer pong. So I love a good game of beer pong of the house. You know, we play pretty standard in most places. We know.
Never want to get too in the weeds with.
You don't.
Yeah.
And I'm a bouncer, Kalen.
Oh, the snake. You're telling me the snake is a bouncer? Yeah, I could see that 1,000%.
I'm the snakiest of the snakiest when I'm playing beer pong. If I find out there's a death cup, I go for the death cup every time.
The move, which I'm sure you know, to time, obviously when the people are looking away, you go for the bounce. But the best one is you have your partner do the regular shot, and right as they release, then you go for the bounce at the same time.
I remember my first game of beer pong too, Caleb. That's so cute.
My neighbor.
It was fun because I played with my brothers. They had no idea how to play, so I taught them about the bounce rule, and they were just amazed at my just pulling off of that move, threw all three of them into a tizzy.
My neighbor has a friend who developed a beer pong game and incorporated the X-Men into it. And so there are cards and stuff, and if you say you make one, you get to shoot again, and you get a card, you get a superpower that you can play at some time, and those superpowers are, you could say the next shot your opponent takes, they have to take it blindfolded or something, stupid like that. One of the superpowers could be if you hit a cup, it counts on going in, and you can play these cards as you go along. And the way this guy set everything up, it's one of the funnest games I've ever played. I think my internet is fucked up right now. Right.
I just love games. So I mean, darts, cornhole, beer pong. I'm in. I love any form of competition whilst hanging out.
Did you ever play King's Cup?
Of course, I played King's Cup, okay. Kalen.
I never hear about King's Cup anymore. That was one of my favorites back in my
the things I've done
drinking days.
The things I've done to a King's Cup, I can't say publicly. I can't say. I think YouTube would not let this video go up if I told you what I've done to a King's Cup. So
that was a good.
I
missed that one.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever do a game called Cardinal?
Never even heard of it.
Cardinal was a drinking game we did in high school that you had to follow a pattern and drink and do a bunch of things. Like you had to tap the table in a certain progression and then take a shot or something like that. And it was a very long, very detailed, very involved thing. And it could only be administered by someone who was already a cardinal, meaning that they passed this drinking test. And people would get all the way, and the rule at the end of it was, the rule we had in high school was, if you were a cardinal and someone asked you if you're a cardinal, the correct and only acceptable response was, "You bet your sweet ass I'm a cardinal." And if you did not say that when someone asked you, "Hey, are you a cardinal?"
Revoke.
"Yeah, dude, I did it last week." "No, you're not."
Yeah.
Revoked. You got to get back up to the table again. That was a sign of alcoholism amongst my 16, 17-year-old friends.
That's young. I didn't start drinking until I was 21. I played by the rules, all right?
I was actually close to, no, I was maybe like 19. But still, maybe 19 or 20. Yeah, probably 19.
I found out when I was 15 years old that if you go to the Berkeley Square and you help a band load in, you just carry a guitar, the people who run the bar will serve you alcohol.
I mean, we used to sneak into, there's this local venue out here in Long Beach that I've been playing since I was, 16, 17. And the amount of
Piazzas?
people, I don't want to name it, Caleb.
They have
So
good pizza,
loud.
dude. And my friend John Surge does some country rock shows out there lately. And my friend Bobo Burns plays there every now and then. And every time I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, D Piazzas, man. We had fun there, dude.
Those are fun shows.
We
Yeah.
played there too for Corolla stuff, but I've been playing there for years.
Right. We played there together. I still have videos on my phone of Loxy at D Piazzas.
I just listened to an old show I played in high school there because I used to record it, and I found the CD because I've been going through all my old CDs, and I just sound like a little kid going, "Hey guys, thanks for coming, appreciate it." Yeah, so it's definitely holds a special place in my heart. But so what they would do, Kalen, is you would get a show there. This was in high school. It probably is still the same today. You get put on a bill, and what's really great is it's not a pay-to-play kind of place, DOS. They just book you, and however many people just go to the door and say they're there to see you, they mark it, and you get paid X amount of dollars based off of the tally they get at the door.
You get a buck a person usually, but you have to pass a threshold.
Yeah, it's nice though. I like that. It's low stakes.
I like that too. It's low stakes. Do you want to just play?
There are places where if you want to play somewhere, they say you have to sell this X amount of tickets to play there.
That's almost every place on the Sunset Strip for the last 20 years.
And so you have to hustle, and it sucks, and you just want to play music, but now you have to be in the hustling business as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, the amount of people that we would get in through the back door because they just slept a gear for us. I mean, people would be coming in with one half of a hi-hat. Like just like the top hi-hat. and just a parade of high school kids just walking through the back door. And the door guy he'd look flummoxed. What? How is this place packed right now? And I'm looking at my tally, and there should be 13 people here.
Was there a $5 cover?
Yeah. That's why you do it.
That's why that makes sense. Yes.
You were
right,
with
but
the
then
band.
you're losing out on the money.
We don't
aren't
care
you?
about the money.
You don't care. You just want a bunch of people, man. You want to play a party.
We just want.
I'd play 100 people for free. Play 100 people for free before you play 5 people for $50.
I mean, back then. No, I'm with you, DOS. One of the biggest shows I've ever played was in Ventura at the Cornhole Festival. It was like a dream, Kane. This is every musician's dream. By the way, yeah, Spencer McKenzie's Cornhole Festival.
Yeah.
So when you grow up playing guitar, Kalen, you dream.
This is where the drawer, the infamous
I slept
sleeping
on the armor.
drawer.
Yeah. So we could explain that story a little bit too, but when you play guitar, you dream of this happening. Maybe you've dreamed of this playing video games or something, but you're just you get good enough to where you're comfortable playing in front of people, and somebody runs in and just goes, "Does anybody here know how to play the guitar? Our band just canceled, and we need somebody to get out there right now." Well, Kalen, I just happen to have my guitar on me. I'm not scheduled to play. Dawson bursts in. Chris, do you still have a guitar? The band's going to be late. We need somebody to get on that stage right now. Can you do it? And I said, sure.
I remember this.
And I got up and I got to play
you did it and you killed it.
I got to play like 3 songs, and it was electric.
I would not have put you in that position had I not known that you were going to kill it. Everything was going to be awesome. They were going to fucking love you.
Yeah.
I was part of putting that whole thing together. Last thing I'm going to do is put somebody on stage where shit goes wrong.
Thanks, man.
So I was 1,000% confident. But I remember that people were like, who the fuck is this guy? What's going on? And then halfway through the first song, everyone started going
originals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no covers.
No covers, just went straight. Yeah, very risky. But if you establish yourself as the originals guy, then you're fine. People will listen to you. But the only thing that I regret or that I felt was unfortunate, I was wearing these short pink shorts because I thought we were just partying and hanging out. Now to go up on stage. It's way too.
Yeah.
These short.
Doesn't matter. Nobody fucking cared, dude.
Yeah, I know.
You're in Ventura, California. For the most part, it's a soft area.
I'm playing and I'm just thinking my eyes are up here, guys. But
Santa Barbara's softer. Ventura has a level of grit, but it's still a relatively soft place.
But so speaking of games, that was the Cornhole Festival where I played it with our friend Chris Atkins.
Mm-hmm.
2 Chris's 1 Cup was our name. And we had shirts with our faces on it. And I was not good at cornhole. I think we had free entry just because we're part of the sponsor, so we got to play for free. But people would
we're on the barter system. We brought Mangria.
That's right.
Supplied it for the festival and allowed them to sell it. We got Mangria on all the posters, promotional mentions of brought to you by Adam Carolla's Mangria.
And I feel like this was the year before I went.
It was.
So I went the next year.
Number 1.
But this was still when cornhole it hadn't broken out yet. So I feel like it was still kind of early in the cornhole days, and the dudes at that tournament could fucking.
We're good.
They were good
because
it was
dude,
like,
do you know
there wasn't a lot of cornhole back then.
Right.
So when you had a tournament, it was a fucking big deal back
tournament. That tournament that you guys played in is now one of the top tournaments in the United States.
Yeah,
I believe that.
You see those guys on the Ocho wearing Crocs and just tossing their bags into the holes.
They live in Oxnard, bro.
Yeah, they were probably there. This is the only game in the country for a while.
Here's my only thing with cornhole, dude. Here's my only thing. Like, what's wrong with curling? Can we just have one sport where beer drinking people can do it? You know, I mean, we got darts already. We got darts.
Which, by the way, I just learned how to play, and I love. Yeah. But yeah, I'm with you, Doss. I get it, but at the same time, as I said, I love competition. I love playing pool. I love Pong. And
I think I'm more making a joke. I think I believe that the more competitive sports you can do, drinking sports wise, the better.
Dude, I remember me and Jay Miller would fucking go at it in cornhole. And I don't remember what party Gary was having at his parents' house, but I remember they had the cornhole table set up.
Never mind, I'm not gonna say it.
We were there. I think it was an engagement party. I think it might have been an engagement party.
Something like that. And he had it at his house, and fucking me and Jay ended up, I remember screaming at Jay because we were in such a heated like fucking competition at the cornhole in the backyard. I was fucking drunk screaming at Jay at like Gary's engagement party or something.
I remember that. So I remember when we were playing cornhole at this tournament, the first one, I was just starting to get pretty good, feeling pretty good, but I was a little nervous because I've never played in competition before. And our first matchup, I'm looking across and I'm seeing just the oldest lady and the oldest man you could think of at this tournament. Like to where in between shots, they had to sit down under an umbrella.
Yeah, they had to hit the oxygen tank.
Yeah.
Cornhole, the original pickleball.
It is.
Yeah.
And I remember just sizing them up and looking at Chris going, all right, at least we're going to get past this first round.
Yeah.
We got smoked. Like and it was embarrassing because they would go under their umbrella and just chill to the point where I'm thinking like, I should not let them do this. They're regenerating right now. We don't get a chance to do that. They should be out here in the sun with the rest of us. And and then I think they went back and then afterwards they went back on the train and Gary didn't let them sit down. Anyway, so
and you got to play a second game. Like everybody's guaranteed 2 games, and then you got a possible chance to get into the losers bracket. But if you lose that first game, you're like, oh, all right, I guess I'm just gonna drink now.
Yeah, a couple things. First off, the losers bracket is never something you want to be in. You want to compete for.
No.
I'm in a lot of fantasy leagues, and they put me in the losers brackets. Like, what are we doing here? You think I'm going to set my lineup? I'm going to remove everybody from the lineup right now in protest.
Yeah.
Because this is ridiculous. I'm not going to
see. That's why when it comes to comedy and music, I prefer being the opening act. You know, because I just want to be out early. I want to be out early.
It does.
Don't worry. Now I can drink some beers. But now it's a tournament wise, man. That's a crushing blow because you lost to invalids.
Yeah, I mean,
suffering from heat stroke.
I know. I mean, rest in peace to both of them now. I mean, there's no way
they're
still alive. But
they died that day.
Jeez.
It was an abnormally hot day in
Gary would
Ventura.
let him sit down on that train. I think that might have done. I might have done it to him.
Gary is gonna. I'm gonna get a flurry of texts once this airs. All right. Oh, Doss. I was thinking too about your declaration that there should only be one game where you can drink and compete. But I know you're joking. But I think we need to turn it around and start putting beers in the hands of most sports, and just let's watch some people play. I would love to.
you make an interesting point, and science has taught us that there is a sweet spot when you're shooting pool, and it's somewhere between 3 and 6 beers where you can fucking make everything.
Well, I feel like it's like that with a lot of games too.
Yeah.
That's like cornhole. Yeah, the sweet spot
Well,
between
me and my
you
friends.
think you're doing really good, and then you get to like the next game after you're like 8 or 10 deep, and you're like, "Fuck."
Me and my
I drank too
friends.
much.
My friends from UCSB, after college for about 7 years, we would all meet in San Diego at one of my friends' houses. And he married a chick we went to high school with. So it was like, and we all party. It was like party house. Here we go. Party weekend. We're in our 20s. Let's go. We called it the Tri-Bolt Tournament because it's centered around a home game at Qualcomm Stadium, Chargers, 1 p.m. And we'd have an awards ceremony in the tailgate parking lot. And it was called the Tri-Bolt Tournament because we picked 3 different drinking sports, 3 different ones every year. It was either golf, darts, pool, air hockey, ping pong. I think one year somebody tried to put ultimate frisbee in there, and that was a shit show.
Fun, though.
But we stretch it out over a Thursday to a Sunday. So it'd be, okay, day 1, we're playing golf. We hit the links at 10 a.m.
Love it.
And then when we get home, it's a poker tournament, and that counted. We called poker a sport.
It sounds like my perfect week.
And then there's darts, there's shooting pool, ping pong was always fun. And then at the end of the weekend, we'd give out trophies. And one year I won. What were the
games?
Drinking sport. The games that year, I remember poker, ping pong, and pool.
3 Ps.
Um,
Or 4 rather.
Yeah, there's 4 of them.
and I kept the trophy for like 10 years. My friend he had a trophy company make trophies out of Corona bottles.
Brilliant.
And I had one of those double trophies that had 2 Corona.
Now, was there a minimum limit you had to be at before you entered any of the games? Because I feel like that should be a rule. You need to be at least this many beers deep before you can even participate.
I understand that, but we were all men of integrity.
You just don't have that these days.
Yeah. So
I
no one needed to be reminded to drink.
Speaking of integrity, what do you guys think of because Dawson brought up pool, my finishing move in pool? When I am 5-ish beers in, and these are not Miller Extra Lights, Kalen. These
German
could be
IPAs.
These could be Coors Banquets.
That's a rough beer, dude.
I love me a Coors Banquet.
I do not like the Yellow Jackets, bro.
Now my mouth's watering thinking about it. Anyway, or a few IPAs, maybe some pale ale, some Sierra Nevadas, whatever it is. My finishing move in pool. Let's say I get to it. It's just me and the 8-ball, my cue ball. I got a clear shot. I look my opponent in the eyes the whole time. Just don't break eye contact, and I shoot.
That's a good one.
I shoot. Now I will say
Pretty good until it doesn't work.
I'm telling you, I would bet it's 50-50, Chris. It's 50-50.
No, it's more like 1288.
Okay.
Yeah, I miss it. I miss it more often than not.
Then in that case, I love it. In that case, I love that.
I ruin a lot of games, especially and I also do it in when I'm playing teams, so my partner's not very happy when it's my turn to
Right.
shoot the 8-ball, and I have to end it like that.
Do you commit to it no matter like how clear the shot is? Like
Well,
if it's a really difficult shot, you're
Of
like,
course.
fuck, I still gotta do it.
There are a few things I do. The difficulty of the shot doesn't
We're
bother
talking
me.
about
It's
integrity here.
the difficulty of the shot doesn't bother me. It could be I would need to bank it twice and I'd still do it. But it's really just sizing the other guy up. Like would this guy get physically upset with me trying this? And if I feel that they're pretty chill, I'll give it a shot.
I like it when people say shit like, you got to hit 2 rails on the 8-ball. Like,
I like
okay.
that.
All right, dude, I'm in.
A fun game that sometimes we'll play is we let the opponents call the pocket. And then you
That's
have to try to finagle it that way.
I would like to have a bar table. I can't fit a regular pool table in this place, but I would love to have a bar table, dude.
Imagine us playing that your opponent calls the pocket and the game takes 30 minutes longer and their guy's just waiting to play pool.
Yeah.
I mean that sucks. You gotta watch out for that. I'm just saying don't do it if there are a lot of people waiting. But man, I miss it. Let's go to a bar, guys. It's been too long.
The piazzas, baby. Well,
Let's go to a bar with some games.
Chris, do you remember a guy named James who represented PV that we met at NAM?
James.
I had him in my phone as James PV, but he's not named PV.
Okay.
He's just James, works for PV.
I remember a guy named Josh. Are you thinking of Josh?
Okay. No, this guy reached out to me. This guy reached out to me on my old number. Hey, dude, it's James from PV. I noticed your boss is playing in my town. I was wondering if you're going to be around.
That's nice.
And it was on my old number, and I go look at that every now and then, and I was like, half of me was thinking, I hope this is not one of the higher ups in the PV organization.
So what are you doing, Dawson?
But anyway, he lives in Long Beach, so I told him you were out there, and
please. Yeah, I'm gonna chat.
so anyway, whatever. We're gonna go have some drinks with James from PV, who's no longer with PV.
Oh, okay, good. Because I wouldn't be allowed to have drinks with them. You know, I work for a competing company. Just kidding.
Exactly.
I'm kidding. All right, look, we got a lot of stuff to get into. First off, actually, yeah, let's do some comments real quick.
Now it's time for listener comments.
All right, and these are comments delivered to us by you, the people, the listeners. And before I get to them, I would like to address the elephant in the room. We haven't discussed it.
It's in the other room.
We haven't. No, it's in this room, Dawson.
Okay.
It's in this room. We haven't discussed it yet, and I think we owe it to our audience to explain. So, Kaylin, you said you returned your PlayStation?
Yeah.
So a big giant update just came out for Helldivers 2 yesterday.
Oh my! Wait, has it? Oh my gosh!
And I knew it was coming, and I knew I had to bust out the PlayStation, and it did, and it was glorious. It was fantastic. I was able to play it for a few hours yesterday, and not only that, there's supposedly another huge update coming out this Tuesday. So back-to-back updates, weeks, and I was like, if I have this fucking PlayStation in my house after this big update just dropped, there's like a new faction in the game. They release like new enemies. There's a new weapons customization system. I mean, I could get into it forever, but I was like, I'm going to play this all week long. And then the update's going to come out next week. And I'm going to play it all week that week. And I got fucking work to do. And I have kids to take care of.
You know, usually people try to go 2
weeks.
weeks. Usually people try to go 2 weeks without the Vice. You're going 2 weeks with the Vice.
No.
I
I went 1 day with the Vice. Well, I mean, I already had it at home, but again, it was new things come out, and then it makes you want to play. So I played it for the day, and then as painful as it was, because it is painful, because I want to be continuing my Vice all through this week and all through next week as well. But I said no, you have to be a good boy. You have to throw it into storage, and you have to wait at least 2 weeks until you can take that bitch back out, because it will consume my life if
you obey the first rule,
yeah,
which is know thyself.
Yeah,
that's impressive. That discipline is impressive to me. I mean, there are things I would have on my phone. I would hide the social media apps. I would put a lock on things that I didn't want to do so I could be more productive, and I would just bypass it.
You were not successful.
Chris told me about that rule. I was like, I think I'm looking at social media too much. She's like, this is what you got to do. You got to put
Chris,
them
they have
all
names.
at the very last page of your phone, so you don't want to scroll over to get them. Did not make us fucking any difference. It only made me feel a little bit bad every time I fucking scrolled over there.
Yeah,
to
there's a scroll of shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now my fingers are super buff because I have to do that motion a lot more now. So yeah, it didn't work. I don't have that kind of self-control to where I could just get a little taste and get out, Kaylin.
No, Amy was like, because she always makes fun of me for it too, always taking it in and out of storage. She's like, why don't you just put it in the garage? I was like, it's not gonna work.
Too close.
That's not, way too close.
You're not gonna like what you see.
I need to drive at least 2 miles to my fucking destination and go through a systems of fucking locks and keys and storage doors.
I wouldn't even go 2 miles to get food. So
I'll go fucking. I'll take a drive for some food.
I won't. It has to be close. I'm getting too old, Kaylin. It's just I won't do it anymore. All right, look, comments, and there's also another elephant in the room that we must address, and I haven't brought it up yet, so here we go. HBO is going to HBO Max now. Max from Max to HBO Max.
I never liked Max.
It's called name recognition branding. HBO is the original. It's the OG.
It makes sense. They should have never left.
Yeah.
Okay, but why do they keep fucking up their own name? Like everyone else has it down. Remember before Max, there was like 3 different HBO apps.
Oh, dude.
And there was like HBO Max, and there was like HBO
Now,
and HBO, and then just HBO, and you would always fuck up which one you were trying to go to. And it was like that forever. Then they went to Max. Fucking HBO, get your shit together, man.
Dude, I know their programming's phenomenal, but
don't get me started on The Last of Us season 2 either.
I haven't watched any of it, and I don't think I will.
I dropped after 2 episodes. You could say, or I could say that I dropped when they killed the main dude. Spoiler alert.
God, I hope Matt isn't listening to this.
Well, hey, dude.
For me too, man. I didn't know that.
Enter at your own risk. Enter at your own risk. Everyone knows the stakes. You rolled the dice.
Yeah. Well, as someone who played the game, I knew that was coming, and still, I have a lot of thoughts on this new season. And yeah,
it already happened.
I'm not as stoked as I was on the first season.
Well, it's just pretty. It's pretty apparent that. How do I put this lightly?
Don't.
Lesbians are really good.
You should have put that later.
At fighting the undead. Or whatever they are.
And people. They fight both of them.
Yeah.
There's actually a trans character in it too. She's pretty good.
I knew that.
She in episode 3? Well. They in episode 3?
There isn't. No, I haven't brought them into the show yet.
So I'm gonna take this time now to just speak to Matt and Gary listening independently to this episode.
I feel a duty to text Matt not to listen to this episode. I was actually just gonna do it. Like I have to. We just dropped 2 fucking spoilers for him. Dawson with the show and then me with the game. I have to tell him not to listen to this episode. I'm sorry, Matt. Just as soon as we get into comments, turn that bitch off.
Well, anyway, I haven't watched any of it. It just felt. I watched The Walking Dead too long, hoping it would get better, hoping for the magic that was season 1 and maybe the beginning of season 2.
Dude, Walking Dead season 2 was phenomenal.
It was good.
It was a great. Walking Dead season 2 was fantastic. Even 3, when they get to the prison, was still holding up. That's when it starts to fucking plateau, and then you keep going until they get out of the prison. Then that's when it starts on the decline. This is season 2 of fucking The Last of Us.
And now, can we just, if we're gonna talk a little bit in the weeds of TV shows, I'm now seeing a new Walking Dead show where 2 characters. Dude. What are they doing together? Like, how is this happening?
Dude, I think there's 4 different Walking Dead shows. I know there's the Daryl Dixon spinoff. There's the Andrew Lincoln spinoff.
Oh, he's back?
Yeah, he left with Michonne. Now he's back with Michonne, another spinoff. Then there's the Negan spinoff with one of the girls.
That's the one I'm confused about.
And then I think there's Fear the Walk. I don't even know if there's so many spinoffs of that show. It's like,
who's still watching that? I don't get it. Who's the audience?
I don't know, man. I don't know. You gotta like, I don't know.
Is it? It's probably teenagers who didn't really enjoy the first season. This is kind of new to them, or like the first rendition of it. I feel like it's just a younger crowd that I'm just no longer in touch with. That are
Yeah, I
saying
don't know.
yacht.
I don't know who's watching that.
Yeah, they just.
I
don't
actually
get it.
tried to
I'm
watch the Daryl
disconnected.
Dixon one, to be honest, and it's just like the other ones. I turned it off after like 2 or 3 episodes.
Maybe I'm just getting over zombies then with The Last of Us. It just didn't interest me to watch this new season. I liked the first season, but maybe I was waiting to hear good things and I haven't.
See, that's why I'm glad that Heath Ledger's dead.
Okay, that's a hot take.
You know, because he went out on top. He played the Joker. He was awesome. Boom, out. No one ever talks about that he blew a cowboy on the big screen.
That people still talk about
They do,
that. I
yeah,
mean,
they
that's a,
talk about
that's a
that one,
pretty
though.
pivotal role.
Yeah, no.
He was the top in
It's the
that
Joker.
scenario as well. I think that helps him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he went on top on both movies. All right, so now let's go back to the comments. I want to read one off of our Facebook group. There was I was joking around. There is some controversy which I want to address in the Patreon episode this week. So because it happened in Patreon, so if you want to hear it, you gotta subscribe.
I told you, Patreons are lit.
It's
You're not
where
I will say
Subscribe.
this: I stayed away from Facebook this week.
oh because of the controversy.
It'll be addressed on the Patreon
I
show.
love it. See,
That's a fucking tease.
That's a nice tease right there. All right, so let's get into some comments though, because and Kaylin actually has a flick in this episode I want to hit real quick too. So Sharon Severson, speaking of movies,
Severson. And I know that because my boss at both the 2002 Olympic Winter Games and the 2010 Olympic Winter Games was former ski jumper for the U.S. team, Chris Severson. Same spelling. Continue.
Okay, so Shireen Severson says, okay, I watched The Dark Knight 6 times this month. Okay, I'm just going to
What?
pause there. Sharon, bravo, and I'm jealous. Dark Knight 6 times?
I'm going to guess that the over-under on the amount of times Severson has seen The Dark Knight lays around 2.
6 times this month.
6 times this month is an awful lot for someone who has seen the movie 20 times.
If you have cable, I've done more if it's on.
If it's
I'm gonna
on
watch
cable, that's a whole nother question.
Wait,
but
is
if
it
you're
6?
actively seeking it out,
Even still, sometimes I just put it on just to maybe not. Yeah, about 6 times.
That's
a month,
background
probably.
music? It's
Yeah,
just
exactly,
background?
exactly.
It's
the best
it's
background.
comfort food. Just
I
put it
mean,
on.
Dude, the actual music is fucking the best background music ever. Whatever
It
you're
is
doing
pretty
will feel
epic.
like the most epic thing in the world.
Yeah.
You'll be writing the most badass email you've ever fucking written.
Wow.
I was wondering why your emails were all in caps.
makes sense.
The other
That
day.
totally makes sense.
And then she says she watched The Dark Knight Rises 3 times this month.
Yeah.
And Batman Begins 2 times this month. So for those who are doing the
Should've
math,
switched those around.
that is 11 times Sharon has sat down and watched a Christopher Nolan Batman movie.
Respect.
Yeah, that's all. We're just good for
Yeah.
you.
Respect.
She ends it with, Kaylin, I need you to flick the menu. Don't look it up. Just watch it. It just left Netflix and went to Prime.
I have.
Yeah, I think you have. That was there
Yeah.
because it was on HBO Go or whatever it was back in the day.
Right.
When it
Yeah, that's when it first
in a hot
first started
premiere.
streaming. It had a hot premiere on HBO. I definitely flicked that. I don't remember what I scored it, but it was flickable. I enjoyed that movie quite a bit. Ray
Yeah.
Fiennes is just always so good.
So please,
I like his brother Ralph.
Look, I'm with you, Doss. I thought they were 2 different people for far too long. It's like, and I thought I knew which. That one's the older one. Oh, that's definitely the younger one. When I see a
Right.
different movie, I just knew.
I think I got burned on that. I might have even gotten burned on that during the menu flicking that I did. That might have been the movie where Matt told me the proper like explained Rafe Fiennes to me, and I was like,
That-
Ralph Fiennes is in this movie.
Yeah, go back and listen to that, Sharon. Maybe Matt will cut it. This is how you remind me. But I think that was the episode where we
Yeah.
found out that Rafe and Ralph are the same guy. All right, let's see here. Jacob Morales says, I'm listening to old, speaking of This Is How Your Mind Me's, I'm listening to old episodes on Spreaker, and sometimes Dawson talks about the different soups he makes. Could Dawson provide some recipes? And I'm looking at Pollo de Caldo.
Yes, of course. But can we talk about how now I have that Nickelback song in my head? It never fails anytime. Not like you
like I can hear it
say
now.
sorry. I was thinking of a different story.
By the way,
Man.
Dude, I fucking love Nickelback
I've
so
said
much.
this before. The hate on
Yeah.
Nickelback it's cringe, as the kids who watch.
Dude,
Walking
I like
Dead
it.
say.
I like that it's
This is
that it's looked at as
why-
cringe, and then that's like the one piece of music
Yeah.
where everyone can hate on it. I'd be like, dude, you
This
guys are
is
fucking missing
why-
out if you can't enjoy Nickelback. Like,
It's
But
why it's an easy target. It's low hanging fruit.
No,
that
here's
people
the
think-
thing,
everyone
dude.
thinks it's funny to bag on them.
It
Yeah,
all goes back to Hunter S. Thompson. The music industry is a shallow trench filled with murderers, liars, and thieves, or something like that. And then it also has a negative side. The thing about Nickelback was these guys did something on their own. They did it great, and everyone fucking hated them for it. They were all over every radio station. We basically got Nickelbacked out. I used to write an article for Snowboarder magazine, and I took one of the very first swipes at Nickelback. I said, I wrote an article on the 10 best metal albums for starters. And I said, did you go to the record store and were sold on something that, didn't stand the test of your CD player back when there were CDs? You want your Nickelback? That was my subtle burn. So I think I was amongst the first to hate Nickelback, and I'm not gonna say I'm gonna listen to that whole "Look at This Photograph" song
I am.
anytime soon. But I got major respect, and I really fucking like the songs.
Save Me. Fucking crazy.
Okay, let's.
But still,
I told
dude,
you.
Songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7 Mary 3 was a better band, and
Jack
that's all I
Kroger
got to
was
say.
married to Avril. He's Canadian royalty.
I think it was his curly hair, man. I think that's why people didn't like Nickelback, because that dude had some fucked up hair.
We don't like people with curly hair, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just too easy to hate on him, and I don't know. I don't think it's deserving. Why everyone thinks they could dunk on Nickelback when they're one of the top selling bands of all time. So fine. Compared
They made
to
so much money. They made so much money in a stretch of like 4 years
Just
just
that.
based on royalties.
I bet they're still fucking making money. I bet their
Oh, yeah.
concerts are lit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But what we played was just a parody, so we don't know that shit. Okay.
That wasn't the real. This is how you remind me, in case you. Thought.
Yeah. Those are parody lyrics. Please don't come after us. Fair use. All right. Look, we're gonna have to wrap this episode up, so we'll save your flicking for another time, Kalen, and
Yep, no worries.
we'll go on to recording Patreon in just a moment. But before we do that, let's go around the horn, get our plugs in, and we'll start the Patreon recording. So I'll start over there, Mr. Kalen. Bean, what do you suggest everybody check out other than the Helldivers 2 update?
Oh, well, don't check that out because it's gonna suck your life away. Yeah, the podcast with my dad just fooling about leads me to ask the audience. I am starting a business in California, and I got a lot of questions that I need some answers to. That I would be very grateful if there's anybody out there that knows California businesses starting
Kalen.
up, that sort of thing. Hit me up in the Facebook group because I need some advice.
But what about an email address or something?
Yeah, you just mention it in the Facebook group,
and then
Yeah,
you'll be in
yeah,
touch. Is that what you're gonna
I'll
say?
be in touch. Yeah, I would
Well,
be very.
you know,
very grateful.
Dawson is on this, and he has a business, and he lives in California, and I imagine it's a business that's similar to what you're looking for.
Probably.
Yeah, well, just saying.
Well, Dawson, I might be hitting you up too.
He knows what's up.
Let's talk.
All right.
Oh, all right,
What's up?
and Doss, what can we plug for you?
I'm doing a show at the Ice House in Pasadena on June 21st. That's the longest day of the year. And the show is called Home by 9. So it starts early at like 7
that.
p.m.
That's attractive.
And
me.
and there'll be like 6 great comedians at the Ice House, and I'm fortunate to be one of them. Also, as we learned from the last Patreon show that $5 is $5, and $5 will take you along the next fork in this road. So do the right thing and sign up for Patreon.
Very, very
at
nice.
patreon.com/watercooler.
And then as for me, I'm playing at the Wilmore Wine Bar in Long Beach this Saturday night, 6 p.m. And maybe you'll be home by 9 then too. So
That's one of the greatest names of a venue that has wine and music I've ever. The Wilmore Wine Bar.
yeah, awesome place.
Comes
Incredible
trippingly off the
community.
tongue. I love it.
Really, I love it there. So come by and say what up. All right, that will do it for this episode of Water Cooler. We'll see you later this week for Patreon. We love you. Goodbye. Kaylin, you got to double up, man. They're not here. Louder.